NikkieTutorials brand Nimya has finally come out with highlighters. I am so excited for this new launch. We have 3 highlighters and 3 shimmer topper lipsticks as well. I bought both bundles for these products, so I'm gonna be swatching all of the shades. I'm gonna be showing them all on my face. We're gonna be testing them out and seeing if these are as good as they seem. So let's get into it. So Nimya, as I said, is the brand of NikkieTutorials, and she's a Dutchie just like me, so I always get really excited whenever she launches something. And this time around, I feel like finally this is happening because we have highlighters. So these are the Glowification highlighters. And these come in a really cute round blue packaging. So the Nimya colors are like dark blue and orange. And we have the blue shiny packaging with the orange Nimya lettering. I think this is really on brand, really fits with the other packaging for this brand. And these highlighters come in 3 shades, as I said. This one is pink outside the box. So this is a very pink, bright bubblegum pink looking shade. This one I bought thinking that this was probably going to be working as a blush topper or like a very glowy blush, because when you turn it, you do see that there's quite a lot of like pink base color to it. And I think this is really fun to have for deeper skin tones, but for lighter skin tones as well, because if you can use it as a blush, that's a really nice like multi-use product. And I do love a really glowy blush. So this was a color I was really excited about when I saw these being revealed. And then we also have shade Monarch, and this one is more of a golden bronze. This one is a little bit on the deeper side. This is gonna look really good on like medium to deep skin tones for a highlighter. I thought it's probably gonna be a little deep for me right now, but in the summer I think I might be able to get away with it. Kind of depends as well on like how much of a base color there is to this. I'm just gonna be applying it to my face today just to try it out, just to see what the formula is like and to see like how does it suit me. And then you can kind of see like, do I have a deeper skin tone? Maybe it looks better on me. Maybe you're more fair and you feel like you have to stay away from this. I think this is also going to be really nice to use kind of like on the eyes in the inner corner. So that's what I'm going to be using this for as well, I think. And these, by the way, all come in a bundle that is discounted, but separately these are like $28 each. So they are not a very affordable highlighter, but we're going to see if this formula is worth it. It does look and feel really creamy and really glowy. Then we have the last shade, which is going to be like most like a highlighter on my skin tone. This is a Beam Bam Boom highlighter, and this is a really light champagne. Looks really bright. I think this is gonna be the most brightening of the shades. And yeah, this is kind of like that standard light champagne kind of color that I think is just gonna suit many different looks. I think these look really good. Let's get into some application. Okay, so I'm already wearing a little bit of bronzer. I didn't want to do too much because I didn't want to take away from the highlighters too much. And I want to start this look out with the shade Pink Outside the Box. I want to use this as a blush because I think it's going to be a little bit too deep as an actual highlighter on me. So I'm gonna grab a clean blush brush, and it looks really pigmented. Like that's very pink. And let's start applying. It really has a really like highlighty, almost silvery glow to it. It's not that the glow is very pink, but you do see how pink that is. When I turn my head, like there is a lot of base color to that. So for me, definitely this is a blush topper, at least. Like that is super smooth and glowy. Yeah, I feel like on its own it might be a little too glowy because it does have really like that almost silvery sheen to it. Like the glow on this is stunning, but it's a lot. By the way, these do have a mirror, all of these, so that is nice when you're like on the go or you like a smaller mirror. So that is the shade Pink Outside the Box. And yeah, it does have really like a blinding glow to it. And it's a little like silvery, maybe to use on its own as a blush. I don't really know yet how I feel about this. I feel like a little bit of a different base color and then applying this like as a blush topper would be best. It's a really smooth blinding highlight. I don't feel like this is chunky or glittery. It's really, really gorgeous. Like it really looks melted into the skin. I think that's a beautiful highlighter. There's just something very creamy about it. I do feel like I want to apply the shade Beam Bam Boom on its own on the other side, so I can show you without this glow already being there, like what this glow does. So I'm gonna grab a highlighter brush that is clean, and I'm just gonna take a little bit of this. Apparently this is a really buildable formula. Okay, this is like with 2 taps into the pan, so maybe then 1 tap would be better if you want a more like natural effect. That is really beautiful. Just a really creamy formula that looks really blinding if you build it up a little bit. I just realized I forgot to blend this. I am such an idiot. Let's blend that right now. Wow. I'm just gonna blend this highlighter out a little bit. I think this is a really nice, like a really nice highlighting shade. I feel like just the way this looks when you turn your head, it's just really like this wet sheen glow, which I do really appreciate. And just see the difference. Like here, this is really a highlight, and this is a highlighting blush on me. All right, and then we have lastly the shade Monarch. And let's see what we can do with that. I'm gonna use a little bit of that to finish up my eyeshadow. I think I'm gonna put a little bit, I think I took a bit too much, a little bit over here. Yeah, that's really golden. Can you see that? That is actually really golden. Like this is much more light champagne, and then here is super golden. Really beautiful, a beautiful color, but it's really quite deep. Do you see that? There's that shadow. So that's definitely too deep for me, but it's a really beautiful color. When I have a little bit of a tan, I think it's gonna look way, way better. I'm gonna take a brush and put a little bit of that in my inner corner, just to like play around with that a little bit. Just right here. It is a really beautiful formula. But yeah, even there you can see it's quite deep for my inner corner as well. More of an all over the lid kind of eyeshadow maybe. I'm gonna use a little bit of Beam Bam Boom, and I'm gonna apply that on top just to get a bit more brightness. It's so pigmented. Little under here. It's really like brightening. That gold, I need to do something about that. I think I'm gonna like wipe this off a little bit, apply a little bit of the pink on that side as well, and then apply a little bit of Beam Bam Boom on top. Okay, I just took off most of that. I'm gonna grab the brush I just used and apply the pink one all over here. It's really beautiful, but also like it's a highlighter. I'm definitely applying a highlighter to my face. And I do love a really glowy cheek. I do love a really glowy blush. But this is a lot. Inspired by Nikki's full face of highlighter challenge. Just look at that glow. This is so glowy. Like this is a glow. Like this is what I would expect from Nikki Tutorials developing a highlighter. Alright, Beam Bam Boom. And I'm just gonna apply that right over there. Like it's a different type of sheen, that one. Because that one is a little bit less icy than the pink one. It's a little bit more of just a champagne glow. This definitely was not necessary to use 2 highlighters, but for the sake of the video, we're doing this. I do really like this formula. It's a beautiful formula, but I definitely feel like I want to combine them with like blushes that are a little bit less shiny, because these on their own like are very, very shiny. Like I'm sure they are buildable, but then you have to take like a little bit. Yeah, I feel like combined with the right blush, like this is gonna be beautiful, amazing. It's already looking beautiful, amazing, but it's really glowy. Like this is a glowy cheek. Full on glow. Alright, it's time for the lip products. In this launch, we also have these Discosphere Glitter Lip Topper in 3 shades. We have shade Wanna Be on Taupe, and this is kind of like a darker taupey brown. This formula is like a wet looking sparkly sheen, and it's a super creamy formula. These are not like those click up pens. They really are these slim lipsticks that you turn up, which I do prefer. Like, you do have a lot of control with that. This looks absolutely amazing in the swatches. Like, this is like wet sheen diamonds. I really think I'm gonna enjoy these a lot. Then we have Dressed in Diamonds. This is just like that wet sheen but sheer. Like, this is not gonna have as much base pigment to it. This is really gonna look like a wet look shine on top of your lips. I think this one is gonna be most of like a topper shade, not as much something you're gonna wear on its own. And then we also have shade Pink in Bio. These, by the way, all correspond really nicely to the highlighters. I think that's a really fun touch for this launch. So this is a pink shade. I think this is probably gonna be my favorite because I do really like pink lips and just pink anything in general. And these just look, they look so good. Very shimmery, but just in a non-chunky, very wet look way. And we're just gonna be trying them out on the lips. I'm gonna be starting out by swatching Dressed in Diamonds. So this is more of the topper shade. I'm not gonna apply any lip liner. I'm not gonna be applying anything underneath because I really want to show you what this does on its own. And that was one swipe. Like, this is such a creamy formula. You hardly have to touch your lips. Like, that is so shiny. Wearing this on its own is, I think, gonna be a little too much for this. I feel like this depth slightly on top of a nude lip look would be absolutely amazing on its own. It's crazy. It's looking a little crazy, especially with the highlighter and then this super shimmery lip, like disco ball lip. Doesn't feel super gritty. It actually feels really nice. It feels really like nourishing, hydrating, not too thick and also not too thin where you're like, okay, that's gonna disappear off my lips right away. What I do want to mention with these, like right away when I saw these, when I opened these, I did see like there's not a lot of product in there. Like, that's a really skinny lipstick, a really small lipstick, and these do have 1.4 grams of product in them. They also are not super expensive, but you also aren't getting a lot. I do think that a little goes a long way because just look how much one swipe gets you. But just to compare the Nabla ones that I tried this week as well, or last week, like recently as well, these have 3.2. So this is more than double for like a little bit of a higher price. You're paying more, but you're also getting more. These also, like the Nabla ones, also are less shimmery. Like, this is definitely a shimmer topper. I think you can do a lot of fun things with this with the right like base color, because this on its own, a little crazy, but now you know what it looks like. It does look really cool and wet looking and like glossy. Okay, next up I want to try Wanna Be on Taupe, which is the more brown one. So this one is gonna have more of a base color. I'm really excited to see the difference. Okay, definitely see that brown base color is making it look a little less crazy on its own. This really glides on the lips. Like, these are just, they are out there. They are something. They are not subtle. They are not a subtle lip when you apply them like full on their own. I think with a little bit of a lip liner, adding a little bit of a base color and then dabbing this on top, you can get a bit more of a subtle look. But there's something quite bright and quite silvery about the shimmers that are in here. So keep that in mind. It's not like the shimmers are nude and brown. They're really like noticeable. They're really like in your face. But I think you can do really cute looks with that. Like, I think that is a really nice product to play around with, to just kind of find out with what types of lip looks, lip liners, other lip products, this looks good. And then lastly, we have Pink in Bio. I have a feeling this is gonna look quite similar to the brown one, but pink, but like it's still gonna look pretty like in your face. I think this is gonna be my favorite, but I already thought it was gonna be my favorite when I saw these. Like, this is such a fun color, a fun formula. It's just super, super shimmery. Like, this is not gonna be for everyone. It's really fun, but it's not gonna be for every situation. It's not gonna be for the office. It's not gonna be like a super wearable lip. But I do feel like this one, this lip look, for me at least, is the most wearable I've seen with these lip swatches. Okay, so I applied a little bit of a lip liner to get the idea of what a lip look using these could look like, and I think it's really fun. I think this is just adding a lot of like shine and a wet look in a very like balmy, comfortable way, where you also don't feel like it's gonna like smear too much. And I just really like it when the glow is a little bit more like concentrated in the middle. I feel like it's looking a little less crazy, and I do really like this combination. I think this is really fun. So I'm pretty excited to play around with those lip products. I feel like it's something that I can really get on board with. And they also just feel really nice on my dry lips. They don't look crepey, they don't look chunky, they don't feel gritty. And I do feel like these are really, really comfortable and not gloopy. Like, I think this is a good lip product. You just have to like that very, very glittery sheen on the lips. The highlighters, I think, are super intense, super glowy, blend beautiful into the skin. I feel like I'm looking a little crazy, but that happens when you're just like playing around with highlighter. So far, I'm liking these products. I think this is a really cute launch and I can't wait to play with them more. This is of course a first impression. I'm gonna get back to these once I make up my mind. I will put them in a new makeup updates, tell you how I really, really feel about them. But yeah, so far I'm really loving the glow. Alright, that's gonna be it for today's video. Thank you for watching and I will see you in my next one. Bye bye!